Ladies, oh my, ladies and gentlemen of the crypto space, we're live on a Wednesday, September 15th at 12:59 p.m., usually in the AM, but it's all good. We do the best we can. There's only so much time in the day, but I got a lot of people on the stream to start it out, 12 people here. It's always a pleasure. We're going to talk some big macro stuff today. Going to put things into perspective, try and understand where we are in the big picture. And what I see is just solidifying. It's becoming clearer and clearer. It's quite interesting, quite fascinating, and I love your guys' feedback. It makes all the difference. I love the Q&A that we do. It makes me understand the things that I think of more clearly, and it's just getting clearer and clearer. Quite fascinating. You know, we've come a long way since 2017. It's a different market in all regards, and don't folks say that lacking conviction, and I see that as assured. It is not the same. It is very different this time, and it's not just that's not just a broad statement from that is emotionally driven out of hope. It's factual. It's deductive at this point, and it's overwhelmingly extraordinary. So let's get into the stream. We're going to talk some stuff. We're going to look at the charts as always. Let's figure this out together because we can do better. 2017 to 2021, it's all different. Very, very different. Today's episode is sponsored by Change Angel, the non-custodial swap exchange for social good. Stop depositing on exchanges, not your keys, not your crypto. Non-custodial, DeFi, or nothing at all. Bam, let's pop it over to the main screen and see who's in the stream. We got Andrew in the house. We will do better. Brian's here. Good morning, Daniel. Noah, what's good? Chris, glad you can make it today. Yeah, a little bit late, but it's all good. Early to the stream, but we can do better. That's right, more lobby. Martin, Ave getting love. It's all getting love. It's a money market. Ave is a money market. Now, it's not something I deploy capital to for a variety of reasons, but I surely have used its functionality time and time again. It's a bank. This goes into the title of the stream. It's a damn bank. If it walks like a bank and talks like a bank, it is a bank. Now, banks do it a little differently. They have reserves that they get from the Fed, and they play this whole shell game. And, they have excess capital, cash deposits. They're giving it in the reverse repos because they want the pristine collateral and the whole macro conversation of the way legacy banking works. But Avi's a bank. It takes in collateral. People take on debt, which expands the money supply by traditional standards. That's how commercial banking historically worked. There's a liability, there's a debt, there's payments, double entry accounting. Ave is a bank. It is different this time. Chris, yes, Swamp, not enough time in the day, my friend. Beazle Irish. Hello. Zach, planting seeds throughout the solar system, cosmos, and beyond. Cosmos is on fire. I don't even have a chart up, but I don't need to look at it. Do I have Kepler logged in? I don't. Let's take a look at Cosmos real quick. This is the Bitcoin chart. Nope, that's S&P futures, which bounced off the 50 SMA. It's like the never-ending 50 SMA. Okay, so Evergrande in China is basically bankrupt. That's Lehman-sized collapse, guys. That's 2008. The amount of debt that they have, it's like 300 billion. So China's going through some serious shit financially, and what they're going to do is interesting. How it's going to play out, unknown, uncertainty. But what do I see from a macro perspective? I'm a very, very much a reductionist. I like this, Occam's razor type shit. The simplest explanation makes the most sense, is likely right. So it's pretty obvious, and it's like what Brent Johnson says, dollars the least shitty fiat, which is, why every fiat over time will pour into dollars because other fiats are less have less strength. So the same applies to the financial system level. And I'm a big fan of modeling, so if his ideology makes sense from a fiat perspective, the same thing to me makes sense from a monetary system perspective. So if you got some shit going on in the second largest economy in the world, why the hell are people going to invest in those markets? They're going to do everything and anything they can to take their capital and deploy it to markets that are outperforming, markets that are going up. Capital moves from underperforming assets to outperforming assets. And that's part of the reason why this is the never ending up chart. Because anytime there's a dip, there's so much capital around the world that would rather park it nowhere else because it's the US. And maybe that's it's neither good or bad. You know, you can put a spin on it, like, oh, it's the U.S., the most powerful country in the world. I don't subscribe to that bullshit. But what is it? It is what it is because this is what it is, meaning it's going up. So people are going to keep putting money into it because it's going up. It has momentum. This is a network effect. Capital moves from the underperforming asset, the underperforming market, to the outperforming market. And that's why we see this massive bounce off the 50 SMA, and we see what's going on in the crypto space as well. Just going to look at Atom real quick. Let's take a look at Atom. Holy sh! $34. Bullish Cross, 50 SMA across the 200 SMA. 50 SMA across everything. Okay, let's put it this way. When you see a bullish cross like this, you're like, where was the last bullish cross? Where was the last bullish cross? Right about there. $2. So the last bullish cross was about $2.61. I think I bought around there. That was in May of last year. May of last year. It's kind of like the tweet I said shortly ago. The charts look like May 2020. We're getting the bullish crosses across the board. You know, the BTC cycle, folks, that still have opinion that we're operating in these halving cycles. Say this is the last leg of this cycle. Whatever the hell it is, all the charts look like they're in bullish cross mode. Golden cross. Take a look at the curve. Curve hit the golden goal. Not a golden cross, but pretty good in my opinion. It was a 50 SMA, 200 EMA cross. That's BTC. So if you go out to curve on the daily, boop, 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 boop. So there's your 50 SMA, 200 EMA. The 200 SMA is up there. When it gets to the 200 SMA, this is going to be well underway of a serious golden cross. This chart looks ridiculous. And the last one I have up is Convex, which is a fake out breakout pattern, ladies and gentlemen. The good old classic fake out breakout pattern. Triangular compression, symmetrical compression, failure, bounce off the guppies, retest in support flipped resistance, breakdown, and the bullish breakout. Good old fake out breakout. Digiverse says red is looking good. You're damn right. Everything looks good. Everything looks good until it looks bad. So I'm sure we'll have our days where we say, oh, all right, now we got to sit down and watch the markets go down. And you won't be back there. But right about now, every single chart says it's different. Says we're either in the last leg of a bullish Bitcoin halving cycle, or 2017 looks very different than 2021. I just posted a tweet talking about, you know, productivity, manufacturing, um, and those are typically terms related to traditional activities like farming, productivity, how much is produced. It's applicable to exactly what people are building in the DeFi space. These are products, these are services that are generating capital, creating value, creating employment. This is labor. It is productivity. There's no other way I could possibly see it. Now, it's different than food. You clearly still need farming and food, but it doesn't mean there's other components to a successful financial system. And this is novel in many regards. I mean, the web was big back in like 2000. It was popping. Everything changed in '08, which I latched onto with mobile. 2009, that was my professional career when it started, and it's been hot since then, and mobile's still hot. But now Web3, a whole different concept, and this is going to lead to some serious productivity, manufacturing, and employment. Because not only is it new software and the creation of software, but we're delving into the realm of game theory, incentive systems, and monetary policy, where value is created. It's created out of almost nothingness, but it has value because this captures people's attention. It encourages people to deploy capital and not invest, but participate in the protocols that have been created from a game theory perspective. Incentive systems are used to draw capital in. This is so damn novel. This is nothing like 2017. Can't compare it to 2017. 2017 was ICOs and gambling on speculation that, oh, it's going to be a company. A company that does what? We know what these companies do. We see the monetary policies. We see the money markets. We see the automated market makers and the whatever they're doing, options protocols, derivatives, identity, security, decentralized file storage. Just I can't name all the things in a couple of sentences. It's a damn industry. It's a whole industry. Scott, what's up? Captain Weber, what's happening, my man? Caught some sushi. Sushi's a good deal. It's FTX. And Solana, yeah, it's going to have a little bit of a speed bump. But it's freaking FTX exchange. They have so much capital that they're fine. And Solana's going to be just fine. Sup, Posh. Howdy, Cap. While everything is euphoric with the latest hottest L1 token, isn't it short-sighted to try and pick the winner when they can just invest in cross-chain profit-sharing startup? Well, yeah, that's what I do. I own nothing that's related to a specific L1. Well, I do. I mean, Cosmos and Polkadot, but those are legacy positions I have. Cosmos at $2. So I've just been holding it. Bear in mind, it is a productive asset, but I firmly believe the most lucrative of positions are positions that capture transaction fees as well as facilitate cross-chain interoperability. Ren is still has become my second largest position. It's grown significantly. It wasn't. A lot of my positions were relatively small at previous points in time and have grown to be, what they are today. Top six, boys and girls. Curve. Holy Holy shit. That's like 60%, 50. Now it's 60% of the portfolio. That thing is crazy. $3.11. Ran second. Spell has been cranking, boys and girls. Spell was number 6. And now Spell has become number 3. It has significantly increased in value since my entry. Cosmos is number 4. So I have a position on Avalanche because they're still getting Avalanche Rush. That's a big deal. So I don't hold Ethereum anymore. So I took my Ethereum and I deployed it over on Avalanche. I'll show you guys what I have. If it loads. You gonna load? AVAX Joe at 137%, which is building a very nice XJO position. XJO is a big deal. I'll show you guys. There's a lot that is unknown, so it's a little bit speculative. So hence the position size. It's not a massive position size for my overall portfolio. But if you go over to XJoe's documentation or Joe's documentation, this is what catches my eye. Minted versus burned. There is no documentation clearly talking about an extra burn component. So but it catches my eye because you guys know what I think about deflationary pressures. So, I took a little something on Phantom as well. But this is what caught my eye the most. You can't own everything you want to own. And in the end, you have to make a choice. Sometimes it's the wrong choice, not always the right choice. But We do have to make the choices. Chris, does staking CVXCRV give you any voting rights? No, it does not. Bribes require VECRV directly on Curve. Now, bear in mind, it's very expensive and it's not incredibly lucrative depending on how bribes go in the future. And I get like $500 a week, give or take, on some of the bribes, but it's a very large VE curve position. I snagged, I've been playing with curves before the Dow. It was like March of last year. So my VE curve position, there was no other way to play curve except the VE curve position, is large. $500 a week is like a fraction of a percent return. So it's not extremely lucrative for the bribes currently. Can you also talk a little bit about the details of participating in the curve gauge voting tomorrow? So I see curve gauge voting as a war of sorts, and so do many others, and as a fight to control monetary policy, and which is a value creation process in many regards, because Curve is just a value creator, and it's going to be controlled by protocols. And Convex obviously is the major controller of the Curve monetary policy currently, but others are fighting for a seat at the table, and they want a piece of control. So that's CVX. I personally don't have a CVX position. I define CVX as something that's not for people. It's for protocols who want control over the current monetary policy. For value allocators, I would argue, and I have opted myself for CVX CRV, which I believe to be the beneficiary of the current monetary policy, as well as a a place that accumulates value associated with LP providers. It's a revenue share position. Sup, Posh? Would you rather have a mill now or get paid 1,000 a week for 10 years? 1,000 a week. It's not even a second to think about that one. How about Curve over the last 200 days? Last 2 days? Oh, Curve's on fire. Is what I have up right now. Woo! 2 days. Ridiculous. Look at this wick off the, that was a 50 SMA hit. It goes further down than the 200 EMA, but that is one heck of a moving average hit, as you can see the little bottom there. Um, Ridiculous price action. I mean, it's in no man's land right now. There's no resistance here. And so there's be interesting to see a resistance or a support retest. But that was kind of today. It did support retest today. It tried to dip down and it went up. Let's see where today closes. That's probably the best way. You need a full candle body close to get a real sense of where things are. And the current price point compared to the price point on June 5th, we want to see support. If we see support there, then you get your churn, you get your cost basis reset process, and then you get a new leg higher in a couple of days or a couple of weeks, whatever. That's the way it works. Digiverse, Ren looks good. Jesse, hey, hey. Hey, Noah, glad to catch you live. It's always a pleasure. Um, Joe, I get really excited when my crypto pumps, but then it seems like I have dopamine deficiency in the dumps. And any tips for regulating the mental health while holding volatile assets in crypto? Focus on revenue. I'm always prepared for a 60% drawdown. I'll watch $1,000,000 turn into 400,000 and be like, okay, I know where my capital's deployed. This is the appropriate place for it. There is no other market that I am more interested in deploying my capital to, and I sure as hell have done my due diligence, and I have my stock portfolio, but those types of assets uh, are not going to perform like these assets over the next 5 to 10 years. I'm prepared for significant drawdowns. Be prepared for shit to hit the fan and find your conviction. You're not getting a curved position because you want it to go to $10 and then you're going to sell it. That's the biggest thing that I talk often about. Folks buy like XRP, non-productive asset. They're like, oh, it's going to $589, and I've held it for 5,000 years. What the hell is it going to do when it goes to that price? You're going to sell something that you believe in, it's going to change the world, and you're just going to sell it? Makes no sense for dollars. No, I want my assets to be productive, so I have no interest in selling any of this stuff. Plus, I got a fat cost basis reset back in March of 2021. You know, wash rules do not take effect on crypto or do not currently apply. They talked about it in the White House briefing about what they want to do with tax policy to close the tax loophole on crypto wash trading rules. So if you had $1 million and the market was dipping in March of 2021 and you had turned into 400, if you literally just sold and rebought in 5 seconds, you reset your cost basis, and now you have a curve position that has a cost basis 400 grand cranking out, a couple $1,000 a week. Food for thought. Food for thought. Yeah, mental health's a big deal, Joe. Not so easy. You got to get past the anxiety. A lot of anxiety in this market. ZKCO. Ave should go into Harmony, hopefully Curve too. Yeah, Harmony, they'll all catch up. All this stuff. Flare, Cardano, Elron, Harmony, Phantom, Avalanche. It's going to be hot. These are all financial systems. Anything that Curve and Aave touch are monetary systems. And we already saw that with Polygon, which is what followed Binance Smart Chain. Watching on 65 inches and commenting on my tab. I love this show. It's a pleasure, Bees Lavish. No, I do not lift. I used to. I used to be fit one day in my life. Now I'm old, 2 kids, and it's all muscle memory at this point. Let's put it that way. Best place to park some stables. Better wait for a curve on AVAX stables. Convex on Ethereum, but it's 104 Gwei right now. So you're talking about a couple $100 of transactions. Park 50 grand, come back in 5 years at 30% yield. Food for thought. Food for thought. Hi Noah, do you think ICE going to be successful? ICE as in gelato and popsicle. I love the team. I'm not a fan of providing liquidity necessarily. Uniswap v3 doesn't really catch my fancy much. I don't think they have much on Curve. I think Curve has much more significance and potential. And I think they're further ahead with regard to the sophistication and potential for their algorithms. Never was a big fan of Uniswap. At least that's my opinion. What do you use to monitor your farming portfolio cross chain? Zapperfi does the best it possibly can. Hex community did not like the idea that passive income is better than price speculation. Well, there is no passive income with Hex, and that's my big reason I don't deploy to it. You can't argue with the price appreciation. I mean, if you put 100 grand into it this week, you're probably going to have like 150, 200 grand next week. But then you have to sell it, and then you have to give the government a third of that money. So I'm not a fan of capital gains. I want to buy something that's 100 grand that gives me $60,000 a year of income. That's what I want. Income. So I'm not a speculator. So you get your hex today, you lock it for 15,000 years. It turns into like $3 million in 10 years, and in 10 years' time, $3 million buys you a new pair of shoes at the mall, and you owe the government $1 million, probably more, depending on how taxes are. You have to give the government $1 million, and then you top it all off. You're out of hex because you had to sell it in order to consume it for its capital potential. It's nice if you lock the asset, but maybe if it gave you the asset on a daily basis or maybe a continuous rolling basis, so that you get a salary at the end of the week. You get a salary at the end of the week. The whole point of capital allocation is to produce a salary to work for you so you don't have to work. So it does not fit. The asset does not fit that definition of a productive asset, which is like Bitcoin. I don't think it's a productive asset. I'm not too interested in it. I want to own businesses. I want to own revenue streams. It's my opinion. Hey Noah, you ever look into MLP? Not, I've heard of it, but I have no knowledge of it. Alameda, 110 mil. All right, DeFi lending. Institutional. Ave's going to be doing institutional lending as well. Not. I wouldn't speculate. That's not for me. MIM seems risky. Talking a stablecoin loan to take a loan to take a loan to take a loan. Not quite. You don't have to leverage it, but if you leverage it, that's what the liquidation process is for. Collateral gets liquidated, assets get sold, stablecoin peg holds because the liquidation process provided the collateral necessary, and it's a sophisticated system. It's what Aave does. Um, it's leverage, but it's over collateralized debt positions. You cannot take out more than you provide, and you must take out less than you provide. So it doesn't seem risky to me. I think the protocol is brilliant, absolutely brilliant. D. Virant, Iron Finance, Titan is looking to become the curve of all coins, all chains. I wonder if they'll be successful. Dev team seems super capable. Sure, yeah, it's something that doesn't. I know of them. Doesn't catch my fancy for application of capital though. More lobby. I've heard a lot about MIM and time. I don't know about these protocols. If we're taking a position, no, do not ever take a position in an asset that you do not understand. In fact, even if you understand the asset, take your time to understand time horizon, conviction. Is it a productive asset? What's the meaning of it? What's the social media hype? What's the sentiment? What's the asset holder distribution? Who has the asset? Who owns the asset? Who controls the capital? Due diligence is required, my friend. Sup, Posh? Do you have any alternative asset in your portfolio? Trading cards, comic books, Gods Unchained? So those are trading cards. Sure as heck is trading cards, digital trading cards. I love that game, man. Gods Unchained is awesome. I miss my Magic cards from back in the day. I don't have any meaningful comic books, all trivial. Um, no, nothing else. Stocks, precious metals, stuff like that, but nothing awesome. I wish I had my original Magic cards. That's probably the I get the most sentimental thinking of the shit I had. I had my original trading cards. I'd be sitting like on 2 mil worth of Magic cards between the Lotus and all the boxes and ay 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 ay. Igor, hello Noah. Do you only one hardware wallet to use multiple? Does it not feel right to keep everything in one wallet, even if it's a ledger? Oh, sure. There's things to consider. You can have multiple. You do a cold storage, you get a ledger, throw some capital in it, throw in a safety deposit box, take the safety deposit box, bury it in the sand, and then, you can do plenty of things. In the end, do what makes you feel most comfortable. That's what's most important. Opportunity overload crew checking in. That's right. We're here and we're trying to figure it out because we sure are in overload mode. Igor, what do you think about Link CC interoperability protocol? No. Maybe synergistic, maybe competitive, but these protocols don't replace one another. There's just such an immense amount of expansion and scaling that's possible that there's so much room for all of these protocols. And frankly, um, my bet's on Ren. It's been for the last 2 years. Truly legit. Hey, Noah, if you were young and wanted to get in the software programming, would you be learning C++ or Solidity? Solidity and Viper. And if you want to do a little mobile too, is Kotlin for Android and Swift for iOS. But if you know Solidity and React, you're set. Oh shit, you're set. Skip. If you're going institution, it's good to know the basics. So you take your C courses, take your C++ courses. Maybe get a little taste for Java. No one uses Java anymore. Not even web dev. Use another tech. But websites are all React nowadays. And Solidity and Viper, you got your career ahead of you. I'm a Kotlin dev. I know Kotlin with Android. And I've had friends over the years, colleagues over the years, have tried to get me to commit time to Dart for um, Flutter. So that's meaningful. And it's not something I've been able to dedicate time to, nor do I really have an interest in dedicating time to it. I'd rather dedicate my time to understanding these financial markets and producing content like this YouTube. And I'm going to start doing stuff like this. I'm probably going to start doing technical videos, the little subscription service that VidLetter produces, where I could publish videos, $10 a month. People get to see them, and I do a full rundown of technical analysis on charts. Hey, maybe people request charts, and I just do it based on request. Or maybe I just do a chart a day. I mean, this thing looks like a fake out breakout pattern. The fact that it never hit red guppies and it's back to green guppies on the 4 hour after hitting support flipped resistance. This is a remarkably bullish chart, and it's a fake out. Makes you think it's going bearish, and then boom, invalidates this entire bearish leg and turns bullish again, actually breaking a new higher high. Remarkable. Quant's a big deal, quantified. Um, Creative. Love your stuff, Noah. Bridging over from Taiki and very happy. Are you expecting an airdrop from Hop? Maybe. I swapped a little on Hop. Also, any thoughts on the FL2 token speculation? I don't know what we're speculating about, but I do speculate that Ethereum never goes to Ethereum 2.0. Maybe that's a little digression. I think they stop at 1.5 and allow this onslaught of L2 functionality and sidechains to just keep going. Zach, Curve has a weekly YouTube series on learning Brownie with Viper. If you're starting, it'd be a good start. Do they really? Well, Brownie and Viper will do the trick. Truly legit, Brownie and Viper will do the trick. So what I did to get into the industry back in '09 is I wrote apps for the Play Store. And I had a portfolio. So I had no experience in corporate America, but now I had a portfolio that I could show companies what I built. So if you learn how to use Brownie to work with Viper code, and you throw a little React user interface portal on top of it, and you put up some protocols, build some monetary policies, and build some stuff, now you got a portfolio. And that's how you start a career, my friend. JJ in the house. That's right, Zach. Truly legit. Noah, have you looked at MStable on Polygon? That's cool. MUSD and Frax on Polygon. That's very nice. So I'm a fan of MUSD. MTA, I'm not a fan of their monetary policy. So it's not something I'm a fan of. But MUSD is meaningful. I'm more interested in MIM Frax and Fix Forex from Andre, Keeper, KP3R, than MUSD at this point, and MStable more generally. And that just is what it is. I think they need to do a big pivot. I think MIM and Frax are some serious stuff, and Andre building what he's building, connecting with Convex, big deal, big deal. JJ Killis, so sunflowers. Was just looking at Ren today. I think you mentioned it a while back. Never looked into it, so I kind of got FOMO. But then I realized opportunity overflow. I was thinking it didn't matter much. So, the last thing you do when you really, really, really want to buy something is buy it. You wait. You have to understand what you're buying. You have to find an entry. You have to take your time and extend due diligence. Enoch, what's up, brother? Glad to see you steaming on this exciting day. Yeah, good to go. 1:33 p.m. on a Wednesday. Not bad. Been a pretty good week thus far. Any thoughts on where you think the Arbitrum Curve Awards will land with Tri-Curve and Two-Pool? No. It will dilute. That's guaranteed. More liquidity will flow in. Monetary velocity will continue to kick up. Arbitrum's going to be hot. It's going to be hot. Man, these are powerful financial markets. Powerful. Then this is nothing like 2017 where you launched an ICO and you invested money for a company to build something. What the fuck were they going to build? What were they going to build? Nowadays, you have protocols that are building stuff with no money and generating capital out of thin air, vis-a-vis monetary policy, and not necessarily taking in, investment. Those ICOs were all securities. So these protocols are built out of a sheer desire to innovate and build new things and be productive and manufacture and employ. Extraordinary what's going on. It says nothing to do, nothing like 2017. This is a new market. I see the crypto space as being intimately connected to legacy finance at this point. Legacy finance goes up, crypto's going strong. This is just business. This is just industry. This is just capital flow. It models the legacy financial system to a T. Any thoughts? No, I nailed that one. Wouldn't you just be better off throwing it all on stake CVXCRV? It's outperforming all your other stuff. Yes. So 90% of the portfolio is 6 assets currently. But the other stuff has some serious narratives. I mean, Joe is potentially deflationary. Avalanche is going to get a half. What is it? How much is it? 500 million? $500 million, was it? Of incentives? Psh, the Avalanche rush is going to be Looney Tunes. So if you could turn 150 grand into 1.5 mil, Curve's not going to $30 anytime soon. You're not going to get a 10x out of Curve. So you speculate a little bit. You don't put all your positions in one basket. Never go all in, never spread too thin type stuff. You guys know the deal. The big money's made with the small positions. If you can turn 1% of your portfolio to 10% of your portfolio, that's how you change your portfolio. Vast majority of the portfolio allocated to yield-bearing revenue streams, revenue stream generating assets, sourced from sustainable sources, transaction fees, debt interest payments. Hopefully, we maintain morality over collateralized debt interest payments, which pretty much is the status quo for the crypto space. Are you planning to building any DApp on top of RenVM? I have no time to build anything. I'm going to take my daughter to the park and go to the lunchroom and serve the kids food because that's where I am in my life. If I was 22, you're damn right I'd be building something. I would definitely be building something. Great content, no nonsense. What are your thoughts on Browleycoin, my friend? I do not know of it. I do not. Noah, do you know if you can bridge Arbitrum by using? Yes, you can. And you're not going to skip the Ethereum fees. If you have MIM on Ethereum, you're going to be using the Ethereum Abracadabra contract to bridge the MIM. Not going to be skipping Ethereum fees. IXO and Cosmos took a snapshot of Iris and Regen. They would do an airdrop sometime soon. Awesome sauce. Big Iris bag here. Where's the captain? I know the captain has big Iris bag too. Big Cosmos bag. We've been playing Cosmos for a long time. Where the hell's Cosmos? What's it doing? Oh my goodness. Hey, Captain! $34.50 for Cosmos. China narrative, baby. Woo! So China's getting hit with the Lehman Brothers, but that makes just the crypto concept all that more meaningful. The BSN boys and girls. Damn, this is a strong chart right there. VeChain is not inflationary payout, VTHO. Okay, disinflation is meaningful. So eyes on the monetary policy, boys and girls. Look for disinflation, look for deflationary pressures, incentivize supply disruption, revenue share source from sustainable transaction fees or debt interest payments. I just liquidated most assets on AVEX, then bought AVEX, sent a KuCoin, sold AVEX. If you put into Ethereum and withdraw, that'd be the cheapest. Yeah, my goodness, that's a complicated method to get capital moved around, is what it is. Last question. What do you think the long-term future for crypto is? Do you think every protocol will get regulated to the ground or open up for third world investors? Well, these protocols are completely global, which means there's limited capacity for a particular government to regulate. What does that mean? So if they can't control the protocols, they can always control the fiat on and off ramps. So there's a lot of considerations there. if any country regulates excessively, it's going to drive innovation out of the country. Why the hell would someone develop a protocol in the U.S. if they're going to be regulated by U.S. agencies, where they could just go to Canada and be regulated by Canadian agencies, or go to Mexico and be regulated by Mexican agencies? And you're doing business in the U.S. because it's global. Anyone in the U.S. can access anything worldwide. So it's a brave new world, and the regulators have less control than they think. Um, that's why China's doing their CBDC, and it's a permissioned CBDC. And that's where they kicked out Bitcoin. They're going full on capital controls, totalitarian type shit. They're going to know every transaction, every move that every dollar makes in the country. And that's what a lot of regulators probably want, even here in the States, but they're not going to get it because the U.S. is not China. So it's going to be very interesting the way things play out. And I don't buy the argument regulated to the ground. I don't buy it even for a half a second. I think in the end, the U.S. adopts the shit out of crypto and DeFi, and it becomes just industry, productive industry that launches a, a new wave of financial prosperity and productivity and GDP and employment opportunity and innovation and excitement. But this damn country so desperately needs some excitement. It's sure as hell not exciting to go sit behind a cash register at Walmart. All that shit should be automated. No human being has deserves that employment. Let it be automated, and you do something that's meaningful, that's mentally stimulating, that's honorable, that makes you feel satisfied, fulfilled. Big fucking words that are important that a lot of people just neglect. The first person that has to respect you is yourself. And this country sure as hell lacks capacity to give people opportunity. People need education, and they need opportunity to grow, expand, and do right for themselves and their family. Anyway, I digress. 72 people in the stream, 34 likes. We can do better. Let's wrap this up. Wednesday, September 15th at 1:41 p.m. As always, thank everyone for joining. Tell everyone to subscribe. After party on Discord. I'm cranking out some office hours the best I can. I put some in this morning. I got no calls. It's all good. I'm here. If you catch me, you catch me. I'm going to be doing these vid letters also. Very interesting stuff. As always, I will see you on Twitter. So I wish you all a good day, and I will see you tomorrow. Peace.